Welcome to my review of Star Wars Battlefront 2 EA. What, that's not what it's called? I'm not sure what it looks like. I mean, it looks like it's called Star Wars Battlefront 2 EA. I mean, that's what I thought it was called. In my life, I can't recall a game that's been surrounded by this much controversy. Battlefront 2 by EA was a game that a lot of people were looking forward to playing. I didn't really enjoy EA's original Battlefront all that much. I thought it was okay at best, but a very expensive game with expensive DLC that felt unfinished upon release. So when it came to Battlefront 2, I was hoping that they would add some things like a really good single-player campaign, for instance, and there is a single-player campaign in Battlefront 2. Now, when it comes to all the loot boxes and pay-to-win and the choices that EA has made when it comes to releasing this game, there's been enough talk about it already. People are mad. People are very mad. And I'm one of those people. I was going to buy this game, and I decided not to. I couldn't bring myself to support them. So, I kind of life-hacked Battlefront 2. There's a rental chain nearby my house called Family Video. It's basically Blockbuster, and it's still thriving and very successful. You can rent Blu-rays and older movies and video games. And I went in there and I saw a copy of Battlefront 2. And I said to myself, I wonder where the profits of this go. And I went up to the nice lady and she said, yeah, I mean, all the profits go to us. EA doesn't get a dime. And she knew exactly what I was talking about too, which shows you just how widespread this controversy has gone. So for $8, I got the game for a week and I re-rented it and had it for a second week, and I've played through the campaign. I know there's more coming out when The Last Jedi is released, but I'm going to talk about the campaign that I did play as well as some of my multiplayer experiences and a lot of glitches that I caught. And I'm by no means a professional video game critic at all. I don't know all the terminology. I am very much so a noob when it comes to describing these types of things. So the way I approach reviewing video games is usually just, did I have fun with it? Did I enjoy myself? Was it broken? Did I feel like I was cheated? Are all of these things that I experienced in Battlefront 2? Yes, they are. I had fun. You know, there were times where I enjoyed myself. And I'm not going to sit here and act like this is the worst game I've ever played, because I've played Superman 64, and that's just not true. However, it is rather disheartening to see the things that EA has done with the Star Wars Battlefront games, because the first two are amazing. Battlefront 2 is one of the best Star Wars games ever made. I had so many great experiences with that game, and I still look back on those memories very fondly, and it's not just nostalgia, it's a damn good game. When it comes to these newer Battlefront games, they feel insanely repetitive. Battlefront 2 has some fun combat, and it has some very challenging sequences, and in the campaign you get to play as a wide variety of great characters, and all of the acting is actually quite good. And one of the best things I can say about this game is that the cutscenes are phenomenal. This is some of the best I have ever seen when it comes to rendering a person. Looks great. Some of the best graphics on PS4 without a doubt, and I thought that it was very impressive. The campaign is a fun Star Wars story, and if you're a big fan, you're going to want to experience that. I found myself fairly invested in Iden, the lead character and one of the members of Inferno Squad, as she deals with a crisis of conscience, as she experienced things in the Empire that don't quite mesh with her, and she feels like maybe some things aren't going the way they should. It was an interesting story, and I had a fun time playing it for the most part, but the game just became extremely repetitive after a while, because it's a lot of duck for cover, shoot, duck for cover, shoot. You get to play as different characters, and so it feels like there's some variety and there's a lot of different worlds, just like any Star Wars experience, but it's all basically the same stuff over and over and over. Some of the same things that bug me about the first Battlefront by EA are also getting on my nerves here, and that's that it's basically Battlefield or something like that. It feels like any other shooter action game that you could play, you're just either holding a lightsaber or you're holding a blaster. That's not enough variety for me in a Star Wars game. I miss LucasArts a lot. I loved LucasArts. I thought they did some really great stuff with Star Wars games in the past. The original Battlefront, Shadows of the Empire, Rogue Squadron, Rogue Leader. This game just didn't feel fresh to me. It felt like a myriad of other games I have played before. You're just experiencing it as a Star Wars character. And so it has that novelty where you can be like, oh wow, you know, it's Star Wars. And then you sit back and you're like, am I ever going to want to play that level again? Am I ever going to want to actually do that again? Probably not, because it's just a lot of the same. But I can say that I am happy that EA did give us a fairly good single-player campaign with Battlefront 2, because the first one, no. So I was happy that I was able to at least experience for a few days a fairly enjoyable campaign despite its repetitive nature. Now, when it comes to the multiplayer, I played it for a few days online. My friend Matt played it with me too. There's a lot of different scenarios that you can engage in and various characters that you can eventually unlock if you do well enough. And of course, if you pay enough, which is just bullshit. Man, I better not get into that, otherwise we're going to be here all day. When it comes, though, to the multiplayer, it's just like the campaign. It's immensely repetitive. You do the same stuff over and over and over, and it's just not that fun. You can play this game, and you can shoot a bunch of stormtroopers over and over, and you can pass the time. This is my best way to describe it. The way I view a great video game is similar to the way I view a great movie. Can you watch a great movie or play a great video game and feel actually kind of invested in what you're doing? Or can you have a movie on in the background and it's playing and it's entertaining you, but you're not really paying all that much attention? When it comes to Battlefront 2, that's how I feel. You can play it and it can pass the time, but as soon as you turn that TV off, it's gone. It's out of your mind. You're not even thinking about it anymore because it's just a lot of the exact same stuff over and over again. Now, I mentioned I encountered some interesting things in the game. Here's one. I killed this soldier and then he decided to dance while he was dead. I'm not exactly sure what was happening there. The exact same thing happened to a stormtrooper, but that just seemed to be his arm that was affected. It was like when they died, parts of their body became possessed and like it just wanted to survive, but the rest of them didn't. During one of the TIE fighter missions, my ship attached itself to another ship like a magnet and then slid across it before blowing up, so that was fun. And when I played on Kashyyyk as Darth Maul, my character decided to walk to the left and commit suicide. I wasn't pressing left. That just happened. Things like this occur throughout this game, and it just angers me that a game is released, and it's available, and I'm playing it, and this stuff happens. This is like unimaginable on something like Nintendo Switch. I didn't encounter anything like this in Breath of the Wild or Super Mario Odyssey, which, by the way, is great, and you should play it. Even Splatoon 2 or ARMS, games for the Switch that I have already played and beat. I don't encounter any of these things because Nintendo does not use its release day as a test. They test their games before they release them. And the TIE Fighter thing reminded me to talk about the flight missions. The controls at first really got on my nerves. The fact they separated to two control sticks. The left one kind of controls spinning and the right one can do more 360 movements. Try spinning! That's a good trick! Oh God, this game is infecting me. But after a while, I found myself enjoying them, although there's a lot of graphics that pop up like destroy and eliminate and reach, hovering over your objectives that was just very annoying, and it felt just like, I know I can shoot the TIE fighter. I get it. They're right there. I get it, okay? Like, some people want to know where everything is, and they like that ease. But I remember the good old days of Rogue Leader, where you actually had to fly around and search for ships to destroy. There wasn't like some thing saying, there it is. You had to find it. I miss getting invested in a world like that. The exploration of it, the design, the feel of jumping into something, and when you turn it off, you're actually still thinking about it. This game is a time waster. Battlefront 2 could have been so much more. I haven't even gotten into the pay-to-win stuff, and I'm not going to because I didn't try any of it. I refuse. I refuse. I didn't even want to buy the game. If you guys want to play this game, I would suggest going to like a Family Video if you have them in your area, or some other rental store that allows you to rent a game that doesn't give any of the profits to EA. And let me also reiterate, if you bought the game, please, I am not saying that you're a bad person or something. Like, that's your choice. That's entirely up to you. My choice is just that I can't support them. I want to vote with my wallet. And I feel like if a lot of us do that, when EA makes another one, because they probably will, maybe it'll be better. Maybe it'll feel more like the Star Wars we want it to feel like. Who knows? If you have a way of renting it, I would do that. Because then you're supporting a small business. You're supporting rental stores. That's just awesome. Instead of like this big conglomerate corporation that just wants your money to open up some loot box thing that nobody cares about. I'm going to give Star Wars Battlefront 2 a 6 out of 10. I feel like I was really fair. There was a lot of things about this game that bugged me, but I was able to have a few days of fun with the campaign at least, without having to worry about the pay-to-win stuff. I didn't get too involved with the multiplayer, so I couldn't give you that much information about my experience with it, besides some of the glitches that I experienced, but overall, it's... So, yeah. Guys, thank you so much, as always, for watching. I look forward to seeing The Last Jedi very soon. You guys are the best, and if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.